What is up, Watch fam? Happy Friday, and welcome to Liquor Run. I am Christian from Theo and Harris. This is my old man,
Rolly, and today I'm going to bring you 3 awesome wine values that I'm so pumped up to talk about.
And I'm going to pair them with watches because it's Theo and Harris. Let's do it. All right, Daddy-O, before we get into it, a quick wristwatch check. You and I are wearing 2 things that are very similar. What are you wearing?
I'm wearing this beautiful Cartier tank.
Yeah? Do you know the model name on that?
I have no idea.
It's the Basculante. Or Basculante. I don't know.
Basculante.
We're French people.
Right.
Basculante.
Right.
I'm not making fun of you. Can relax. Can relax. That's how we love in this family. All right? That's how we love here. You know what's cool about that? It actually flips right up. Okay, so it has this beautiful flipping mechanism.
Check that out.
Originally designed to kind of serve,
Nice.
I believe, actually, you know what? I believe it's a table clock. That's how I believe it was.
Okay.
I always get it confused with the Reverso.
Mm-hmm.
This actually predates the Reverso, this mechanism. Much less famous than the Reverso, much less marketing, smaller amount of marketing dollars spent on the Basculante than the Reverso. It's not a cornerstone of the Cartier brand like the Reverso is, but it's a cool watch.
Very cool watch.
I am wearing something very similar. My personal Cartier Tank Louis. How do you like that watch, Dad?
I absolutely love it.
How do I look?
Stunning.
Men in this family are always complimenting each other. My mother walks around and I'll be looking at him. I said, Dad, you look gorgeous. I mean, you look really beautiful. And she goes, ugh, shut up. Can you stop? I mean, it looks gorgeous. All right, Dad, let's get into it. As per popular demand,
So many people.
everyone wants to know. Listen, Rolly brings a great wine on the show every week. It's really cool shit. We love buying it. Everyone went out and bought Beaujolais Nouveau. Everyone went out and bought so many of your Italians and Spanish wines. But some people have said, give me 3 wines, 1 episode, so I can go to the store and just pick them up for the weekend. Do me a favor, please. So I challenged you.
Yes.
Pick out 3 different wines.
Yes.
Different in many ways.
Right.
And I'll give you the floor. What do you got first, Dad?
We could go so many different directions. We're gonna try one here in the studio, right? We're gonna open up this guy here, and we're gonna talk about 2 others that I think epitomize what I like to drink and why I'm so passionate about these wines. And they are available, and they're just gonna make you so happy.
Yeah.
So my first pick, and we're gonna try this right now. In fact, if you want to open this up,
I'll do it. Are you gonna make fun of me while I do it?
Yes, I will. My first pick is a Soave from a winery called Pra, and these guys, Graziano Pra, his family has owned this winery for a long time, but this winery is relatively young. It's only a couple of decades old. Why it's an important wine is because Soave was a very popular wine many years ago. But then, like so many other Italian varietals that have made their way here to America, they've been bastardized, and the quality was sacrificed
For profit.
for profit and for volume, right? So,
But it's not so bad because now more money.
more money.
So, no, it's funny.
Right.
Just to talk about culture there for a second. In my experience, this is not. Aspetta.
I gotta talk.
But why would you do such a thing? We're Italian. Relax. What's funny is maybe my experience in Italy, which is fairly extensive, is inaccurate. But I've found that Italian people in Italy, producers of things like wine and cheese and balsamic, are, as I've seen it, and quite a bit, almost uncompromising in the quality that they produce. And they don't really give a shit about how much money they make. That's really what I've seen. People are like, oh, no, being rich is not the point of this.
Yes.
It's because we want to produce the best balsamic in the world.
Right.
Whereas American Italians, or just Americans, we have more of a focus on profitability and kind of capitalism, which I love, like go America, like USA. But there is a difference in culture there, and it is sad when you see in any medium, whether it's wine or whether it's cheese or anything or suits. Italian. There's a drop in quality once they come to America,
Right.
Because that's American business.
That's right. So you want to feed as many people as you can. You want to get your product to as many people, and so something usually goes wrong.
Right.
And in this case, something went very, very wrong. Soave was synonymous with garbage. And for many years, it became an unwanted wine, an unwanted grape. Trebbiano, Garganega. These grapes were just not being used much, or at least purchased here. In Italy, they were probably still drinking it. But there's been a change, and that's a wonderful thing for us. Because now there's a commitment to quality. Did you just try that wine?
It's delicious.
It is absolutely delicious.
It has a sweetness to balance out its apple or its acidity.
It's 100% apple.
But there's a sweetness there to balance it.
Well, I was gonna say apple because it's not like one of those green apples that are very tart.
No.
It's almost like it's one of those apples, almost like the yellow apple.
It's delicious.
Okay, it's delicious.
Yeah, it's
because
really good.
it ends on a sweeter note, but sweet in a sense that it still has acid.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a beautiful wine.
It's not a red delicious.
It's not a red delicious. It's floral. It's medium body. In fact, almost light. I'll call it medium.
Yeah. I agree.
This is a tremendous wine. This one's $15.
$15. So not necessarily, not bottom of the barrel cheap.
It's not.
But definitely doable.
Yeah.
And delicious. It's funny. I'm sure many of you guys will go out and buy this bottle, and if you do, send me a photo. I'll send it to Rolly, and we'll have a conversation about wine. But you're gonna get the whole apple thing, and it's hard to explain. I never get it when someone else is talking about it, but I get it now. So the watch that comes to mind here, right? And I'm thinking about Italian. Used to be great, then went to shit, is now either great or much improved from then, and mid-level price point. I can't help but to think Panerai, right? Panerai was an incredible historical brand, right? That at its resurrection, then when it was purchased by Richemont, a lot of things happened where there was compromising of quality. There were like sellout models. There was quite a few scandals of low quality being disguised by the Panerai brand. And then only in the last couple of years, and still with exception, but in the last couple of years, Panerai has said, let's release some models that are really worth owning, right? That are true to Panerai history, right? That doesn't make them pieces of Langenzone hot horology or top tier. I'm not talking about Patek here. We're talking about a good historical value watch. I see that trend with Soave and with Panerai. Again, I can't help but to bring back to watch it.
That's fine. No, I think that's a good analogy.
Yep.
But Soave is back.
Yep.
You can thank wineries like Pra for doing that and reviving these grapes that were pretty much just about dead, at least dead in America.
Awesome. Wine number 2. Let's do it.
Wine number 2. I can't help but to go back to Spain and go out to the Mediterranean, Cava country. We know more about Prosecco in this country than we know about Cava. People when they're in the wine shop, they walk right by Cava, and maybe they'll grab Prosecco or they'll just grab champagne.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with champagne, but you gotta try Cava. My favorite is the Rosé Castellroig. We were there, and we got to meet the family. So I'm very particular, I'm fond of that. But you can buy Gramona, you can buy Freshenet, you can buy Juve Camp.
Gramona and let's stick with the independents.
But we're going to stick with the independents. But so Castellroig, and you got to put it on the screen here. Go out, try Cava, try it with tapas, try it for New Year's Eve. It'll set you back really no more than 15, and you're getting yourself just a wonderful sparkler.
I find that it's so drinkable. I happen to have an affinity for it, but I recommend to you guys even just a bottle just to start your night, right? Even if you're splitting it with 3 or 4 people, you get a glass or two. It's bright, it's bubbly. It doesn't have the bitterness so often that many champagnes do, or many of the famous champagnes do. I think it's so delicious. delicious. Truthfully, and like I said, we not only had the opportunity to visit their vineyard, we hung out with their patriarch. We hung out with the sons. On our way out, once we at this point were worth no money to them. Once we were literally, our orders were placed, our bill was paid, everything like that. Yeah. We asked the son, I forget his name. We asked the son, where should we have lunch? And he was trying to explain to us, and you speak Spanish, and he was corresponding in Spanish, but he couldn't quite explain where the hell this freaking place was. He goes, you know what? I'm going to get on my bike, follow me. And he got on his motorcycle, and he led us to the restaurant and said, here you go. Yeah. Adios.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that to me, does it make the wine any better? No. First of all, the wine's great. It doesn't make it any better, but it adds so much personality to it. Yeah. And as far as a watch connection, I'm thinking of fun. I'm thinking of independent. I'm thinking of bright. I'm thinking of real familial involvement. I'm thinking Nomos. I'm thinking the Tetra. And I'm thinking in bright colors. Why the Tetra? I think the square case has a level of formality that many of these cavas do inherently, and I think the colors about them is the effervescence, and the independence of Nomos matches the independence of Castellroig. Next wine, number 3.
My third pick, and we don't typically drink American wines on the show, but I'm still so very fond of my third pick. And when there is a special occasion, or if I'm out at a customer meeting or what have you, Groth Cabernet Sauvignon, to me, is just a phenomenal. It's not an unknown wine. I can't say that it's an obscure wine, but I think it sits obscure to Opus One, and they happen to be right
geographically,
there.
Right?
Geographically, they share a border.
Okay.
So those grapes are growing in the same spa that Opus One grapes are. You know,
so as far as climate is
it's
concerned,
right there. I mean,
and terrain,
you can't see. Ultra microclimate. I mean, so to me, just a phenomenal wine. It's not inexpensive by any means.
What are you looking at?
You're probably looking at $50, $60 a bottle. But man, it's so well worth it. Yep. It really, really is. I can name others, but I don't have to.
What are you seeing at the $60 Cabernet Sauvignon that you're not seeing in an $18 Cabernet?
Okay.
What can you expect? What do you demand?
Let me frame it to you this way. America, in my opinion, is not good with value wine. We don't make great wines at the lower price points that the Spanish do, the Italians do, and other countries, Chile, etc. What you usually find a lot of sweetness and really funky, unbalanced wines. At that level, at the Groth level, you begin to find a lot of refinement. The wine is polished. You feel it in your. It's the mouthfeel.
Is there balance?
It's so balanced. It's got beautiful like chocolate, cocoa, even like tobacco. In that wine, but and it's balanced with just enough heat, enough alcohol heat, and it fills your mouth beautifully. It whether you know about wine or not, when you put a wine like that in your mouth, you're drinking something very, very good. It's just refined.
Well, that was like the first time Anna, this is going back, God, it had to be, Jesus Christ, 3 years ago. We were hanging out at our house, and you had a bottle of William Selim Pinot, I think, open.
Right.
And you were not talking to Anna. I think you were talking to someone else. You were busy, and you looked at me and said, pour her a bottle, pour her a glass. Remember this? And she tasted it, and she was like, "Whoa, that's really good." Right. Mind you, at this point, Anna had by hundreds of bottles of wines at a glass at a time, dozens of bottles at our house, and yet this time she said like, "Whoa, that's significant." I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's noticeably.
Yes.
Delicious
and different than what I've had before.
Yeah.
You know it immediately as soon as you have it. Yeah. I've been a fan of Groth for many, many, many years, probably going back to like 1992 or 93. And it just made an impression on me when I was drinking, Echessot and Clos Vougeot and all these French wines. I was drinking Groth too, and I've had Groth over the years, and I really never been very disappointed with that wine. It's wonderful wine. I highly suggest you go out
Yeah.
and get that wine.
So I'm thinking now, as far as relating it back to watches, you're talking about a brand that geographically neighbors another that makes similar wine, that does a similar thing, quite a similar thing, in a similar style for a lot less money. Not as good necessarily,
Okay.
but similar, and a lot cheaper. I can't help but to think of Glashutte Original. Right, it's a brand that geographically neighbors Languenzone.
Right.
It's a brand that does much of what they do in the Languenzone style, but a brand that delivers a lot, or delivers what they do at a lot more affordable price point. Right. For example, Glashutte Original's competitor to the Langa 1 is their Panoramic series, the Lunar and the Reserve. These watches, I don't know what they retail at. They can be had in the $7,000 to $8,000 territory, and they really do put up a fight. They lose, but they put up a hell of a fight to a $23,000 to $27,000 Languenzone. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
And I know quite a few people that own Languenzones, quite a few people that own Glashutte Originals. And a lot of the guys that I know that own Glashutte Originals don't say, one day I'll get the Langa. They don't say, if I could afford it. They said, no, to me, this made sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Could I afford a $1,000 bottle of wine? Yeah, you got $1,000. You could buy it. But do you want to, or do you need to? Not always. You know, and that's, at least for me, as far as my personal collection, very important to note. Could I have bought a $10,000 tank watch? Yeah, I could have. I could have. But I like this one. You know what I mean? It's a similar effect in a similar style for a lot less money. So I'm thinking I'm going right to Glashutte Original.
That's another great analogy. I mean, it's I didn't even know that they were that close.
No, same city.
Yeah, same city, right? Yeah, that's right. They're both made in Glashütte, right?
Glashütte.
Yeah.
But
So,
Dad, thank you for bringing these three wines.
I hope you guys enjoyed my picks, and if you don't, tell us. We'd love to hear and try. Go out, try them. This is all about trying. So you're gonna love some, you're gonna hate some.
I think we might do this more regularly. I think it's cool to bring 3 wines, bring 2 to 3 wines, and say, hey, give this a shot. Let's hear your thoughts, guys. If you have tasted any of these wines, please comment down below. I know Rolly has, I have, and have not, depending on which wine they were. I would love to hear what you think, and if you thought that my kind of correlations here made sense, please let me know down below. I think they did, but I always think that I make sense, and I know I don't quite often. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful Friday. Thank you so much, Daddy-O, for coming on the show.
You got it.
That's it, guys. Adios.
Salud.